All right, I don't care what they say about December. This is the greatest time of year because it is Park Madness season, baby. We are back with another episode of Off Trail with Luke and Chandler. I'm Luke.
I'm Chandler.
And this is Off Trail. It's an exciting day because today marks the start of our second annual Park Madness Bracket Challenge.
Season 2, baby.
Season
we
2
made
is
it.
here.
We got approved for season 2.
Yeah, the directors approved season 2. It's awesome. So it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to get into that, talk about what Park Madness is like, all the details you need to know. We'll talk about the bracket a little bit. And then we got some fun facts about some national parks for you guys, too. So that's going to be great. But before we get into that, we'll make sure we take care of the show. If you are watching on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to our channel. That is the best thing you can do to support us. We'd greatly appreciate that. And because we're in the full swing of Park Madness now, please leave a comment on your favorite national parks. We'd love to hear what your favorites are, especially if you live in some cool places. What's close to you? What's your favorite ones?
Even if it's Gateway Arch, we'll listen to you.
Well, maybe not that one. But go please subscribe to our channel, comment on this video. And if you're listening to the audio-only version, we are on all major podcasting platforms. So you can find us there. And we'd really appreciate a 5-star review. We think we do a great job with this show. And we'd like to hear from you guys over there as well. And plus, again, we're just in a great mood. It's Park Madness season. 5-star review is perfect.
It's the best time of year.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. So leave us a 5-star review. Go do it.
Do it.
Okay. Let's move into what this show's going to be about, and that is Park Madness. So, for those who don't know, last year we started Park Madness. It was the first time we ever did this, and admittedly, we put it together within 2 days.
It was fast, yeah.
It was very last minute, and it got a great reception. And this year we have a lot more prep time. So, hopefully it's a much better product for the people at home. But we had this idea to take what the normal NCAA bracket challenges, where you pick your basketball teams, you try to pick who's going to win the whole thing, get the most correct picks, all that stuff, and we applied it to national parks. Hence the term Park Madness. It's not March Madness, it's Park Madness. Also happens in March, though. It's confusing. But in this game, we have pitted the national parks up into hypothetical matchups that fill out a bracket. And thankfully there's 63 teams, so it's very close to the normal amount you'd have in a bracket. But you guys at home get to help influence the outcome of all of the games. We're going to have all the normal rounds, just like March Madness would, and we're going to see who can come out on top. There's going to be upsets, going to be drama, intrigue. It's going to be great.
Dark horses.
Dark horses. Yeah, not light ones, dark ones.
Dark ones.
But we're going to talk about all that stuff. And it's a fun time of year for us because last year it was a blast. And this year it's going to be even better. We have a little bit more planned we want to do. But I think this is one of the best ideas we've had for what we do with all of Bushwhackers.
Absolutely. I totally agree.
And
it seemed like so many people had so much fun with this last year. And so I'm really excited to give another crack at it. So
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And we have some changes this year. We're going to talk about all this stuff. But yeah, we love our national parks, and it's a great thing to promote. We'll talk about a lot of these for the next 8 weeks, all through Park Madness season. All of our podcast episodes are going to be about and centered around national parks. We won't necessarily be talking about the games themselves with Park Madness, but we will be talking about national park centered stuff. We'll have a handful of different styled episodes that we'll do. Again, this one we're going to talk about some fun facts from parks, and not just the big name parks. It's going to be ones that you maybe don't really know much about. So it's a fun way we can kind of introduce national parks more into what we do. And after the 8 weeks, we'll get back to our regular programming and other topics. But it's going to be a fun 2 months here.
yeah, it is.
Doing national park stuff. So,
Yep.
So Park Madness. We have created a bracket, and in front of us, we have the official 2024 Park Madness bracket. First time we are seeing this today. I put this together not too much, earlier than when we started recording. But this is what we got for the year, boys. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's some good matchups here.
Some great matchups, yeah.
Yeah. And it's gonna be interesting to see what comes out on top. But before we talk about these individual matchups, dark horses and things like that, I want to make sure we talk about how these games are decided, how you can get your bracket in. There's a lot of details that we got to make sure we cover. So today's Monday. You have about 2 weeks or so to get your brackets in. Okay, and the way you would do that is go to our website, realbushwhackers.com/parkmadness. And we have a whole web page dedicated to the games. On there, you'll find all the game rules. So if you're listening to this, didn't understand something, you didn't catch some of the rules, everything's going to be on there. So don't worry, you can find it all there. You'll also find the official bracket entry. We use a little third-party app thing that's embedded on the site. You can go there. You can create your own bracket. We ask for like your first and last name, your email, and we won't use that for any marketing. Like we just need it so we know we have individual entries, unique entries, and everyone only has one. That's the only purpose of that stuff. And so on the leaderboards, we'll see your name and everything too, so we know who's who. But you can find all that stuff on our website. Like that is the best place you can go to get any of the information you need. Obviously, if you know the three of us, you can always ask us on Instagram, whatever. Like find us, connect with us, ask us questions. We're happy to help.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But our website will have the vast majority of everything you would ever need to know about Park Madness. So you can go there. Like I said, on this little embedded app, you can find a little spot. It'll say create your bracket. You can put your information in, and you can go through each one of these games and make a pick. You can pick. If you think that Rocky Mountain National Park is going to beat Shenandoah first round, go make that pick. I'm proud of you. That's a good pick.
It is a good pick. Yeah.
I might make that pick.
I might as well.
But there's a lot of different games, and you're going to go through and you're going to struggle with some of these decisions you have to make. Maybe not in the first round, but as the games get going, it's going to be very hard.
Yeah, especially once we get close to the end. So
Absolutely.
I remember last year was tough.
Well, so last year, and this is a fault of my own, admittedly, we just did a random draw for seeding, and that was an issue because one of the regions in our bracket was loaded.
Oh yeah, it was heavy.
With stud parks. It was like Rocky Mountain, Yellowstone, Rainier, Tetons, Glacier. It was like, okay, this is not fair.
All the cool ones. Yeah.
Like all the parks that should be going deep in the games did not get that chance.
Yeah.
Because like Tetons lost to Glacier in a round one matchup. Like,
yeah. And Tetons is a great park. So Tetons deserves to go further.
Yeah, I mean, it was my number one favorite and number two favorite parks of all time going head to head in the first round. Like that's
rough.
It's rough.
Yeah.
How do I make that call? I think I picked Tetons to go all the way last year, and they lost first round.
Man.
So I was out after day one.
How'd you feel about that?
Not great.
Yeah.
Especially as the game master. It's just not.
That's true. Yeah, you're supposed to
not
be.
a good look.
Yeah, come on,
This year's
man.
going to be better. I got a feeling. But yeah, so you can go through and make all your picks. There is seating to all of it. If you see this on our website, you'll see all the seating. But the seating doesn't truly mean a ton. It is based somewhat off last year's results, though. Case in point, Arches is a number one overall seed. That's ridiculous. Arches should be a 16 seed at best.
Absolutely.
There's an argument to be made. It shouldn't even be in the tournament. But the seating that you see in the brackets and how all the first round matchups were determined is loosely based on last year's results. Now, I will admit I did a little bit of, handiwork myself and move some things around, but that was only because, again, a park like the Grand Tetons, which most people will agree is an amazing park, was essentially going to be like a 12 seed. And it's like, okay, it doesn't deserve to be that low. So I did a little bit of, some work.
Yeah, we had to start somewhere.
Yeah.
So.
But I do feel like this is a really good setup here.
This is a great
compared
setup.
to last year. I feel like this is a really good starting point to work from with all these matchups and where things are located, because there's no one side of the bracket here that's loaded. Which is the whole point. So hopefully you guys have some matchups you guys like at home and that you might be torn on. But there's one thing we need to make sure we talk about, and that is how the games are decided. Okay, last year the games were decided strictly by popular vote. So for those of you who may not have been part of them last year, we held polls on our Instagram stories at Real Bushwhackers for every matchup. We put Haleakala and Mammoth Cave. On one slide, you could vote between the two of them. You only get one vote. And if Haleakala got 75% of the vote, Mammoth Cave got 25%, Haleakala moved on to the next round. Every game last year was decided like that. That is no longer the case.
Oh.
Yeah, again,
Oh.
I'm game master here. I take great pride in this. I realized that if we kept that same voting system, that same determining factor, that realistically year to year, we're going to get all the same parks winning over and over. That a park like Isle Royale
will never
doesn't stand a
win.
chance.
Yeah.
You know, and
or Gateway Arch, which is the greatest national park.
Well, that one still doesn't stand a chance, but just kidding, it will in this new system.
Yeah.
And let me explain. So this year, I decided that we need some kind of dynamic that will allow for a park, you know, that is not quite as popular to still have a chance at winning. Because realistically, you look at March Madness and the 16 seeds win. Not all the time, you know, but the lower seed can win games. You know, that's a huge part of March Madness is the upsets. That's why people play. It's all the excitement. That's all the drama. And we didn't really have a great way to make sure some of that was going to be involved last year. This year we do. And so we are still going to have that voting system. So on our stories, every day you're going to see the matchups and you can vote for them. But this year, instead of just having the park with the highest vote total win that matchup, we are going to take those odds, the percentage split. So let's say, I'll take an example, Death Valley got 90% of the vote versus Mesa Verde, which means Mesa Verde got 10% of the vote. That split, 90%, 10%, is now going to become essentially the odds for one random coin flip. A random number generator will take care of this little feature for us, but it is now going to be 90% likely that Death Valley will win and 10% likely that Mesa Verde will win. So this adds a little bit of that upset factor into Park Madness, which
I like this.
I am stoked about.
I'm excited about that, yeah.
Because now, unlike last year where essentially you could have tried to have the best bracket simply by trying to vote for who you think everyone else would vote for, now you can really pick teams that you think are going to win.
Yeah.
Or parks you think are going to win, not teams. But it should add a little bit of drama. And hopefully we get maybe a Cinderella story.
Maybe Gateway Arch will go all the way.
Why are we talking about Gateway Arch so much?
Because it's the worst park.
I don't want...
I'm just kidding. All parks are created equal.
No, they're not.
Except for Gateway Arch.
No, they're not. But this new feature of taking the vote and turning it into the odds is going to hopefully introduce a little bit of chaos into the system.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm looking forward to having to pick some upsets this year.
Dude, I'm excited.
And it's going to be fun because we have a lot of matchups last year that were 60-40, 70-30, whatever. And one of those parks is going to win now that had the lower percentage. You know, let's take a game, Great Sand Dunes versus Crater Lake this year in the first round. Great Sand Dunes is a 10 seed. Crater Lake is a 7. Now, again, the seeding is just loosely based on last year's performance, but Crater Lake may still get a little bit more of that vote. It may go 60-40. Well, there's a 40% chance that Great Sand Dunes is going to go, and now a 10 seed is moving on to the second round. And who knows what happens from there on. And so there's a good chance now we're going to have a little bit of some storylines that we can run with. And maybe a little bit of news reporting, Chandler?
Maybe, possibly.
Maybe. We'll see. We have some things planned.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is my idea for how Park Madness is improved this year. Add a little bit of that fun factor.
Yeah. I'd say it's quite the improvement. So I'm excited.
Yeah, it was admittedly the only thing I could think of how we could generate this.
Yeah.
But
well, we had a lot of conversations about this last year. We were really trying to figure out how to solve that problem. Because, I mean, like you said, I mean, if we don't have something that kind of equalizes everything, you end up having Glacier and Yosemite and all these parks win almost every single time, you know?
Yeah.
And so having something like a little coin flip really helps equalize everything, give some of these smaller parks a good chance.
And again, the reason we're trying to do this is because you think about March Madness, again, that 16 seed, while they may have a 2% chance of winning that game, is still a chance. And we don't want to leave it straight up to some popular vote where people don't even know about the park.
Yeah.
You know, American Samoa, great example. How many people actually know that was even a national park?
I had no idea until last year.
Yeah, same here. But this year, if it gets 2% of the vote, again, very unlikely that's going to win. But if that 2% hits, brackets are busted.
Yeah.
I mean, if Denali goes down first round, look out. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. If Glacier Glacier can't, but
Glacier. So if you're looking at the bracket, if you're filling yours out online, you may see Glacier has a bye the first round. There's only 63 teams, so there's not actually a 64th team to put up there. And because Glacier won last year, we are giving Glacier a bye.
Yeah.
Only makes sense.
yeah. Maybe by the end of this year we'll have a 64th park.
Who knows?
Yeah.
That'd be fun.
There's some talks.
And they won't get a bye next year, so that's
Yeah.
fun too. Or maybe we'll make a little playing game with Gateway Arch and whatever the next park is.
That's true. Yeah, I like that.
Because Gateway Arch doesn't deserve to be in it.
It really doesn't. We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah, we have facts for you guys.
yeah.
But yeah, that's the games. I think that's kind of all the info we need to discuss about putting your bracket together. Again, this is Monday. I forget the date, but you're going to have until March 1st to get your brackets in. March 1st is when the games, the voting on matchups will start. So midnight on April or February, it's a leap year, so February 29th, all the bracket entries are closed. You cannot put your brackets in after that point. So you have about almost 2 weeks
Yep.
to get your brackets in.
And yeah, it's leap year, so you have an extra day.
Yeah, we were so kind to you guys. We just thought we'd give an extra day.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah.
we did that. We control leap year.
We make the calendars.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you have 2 weeks to get your brackets in. So if you want to take some time to think about it, again, we're going to have some reporting that may sway your vote. If you want to wait to see some of the news come out, that could be a good strategy.
Reporters in the field.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we have not put our brackets together yet. Again, this is the first time we've seen the bracket.
Yeah.
Today we've only done a quick glance through. I have some ideas in my head of what I might pick, but again, you got about 2 weeks to make your decisions and get your brackets in. So make sure you're on top of that. If you're following us on social media, you're going to see reminders all the time. If you see us in person, we're going to talk about. I've already been talking to people about it the past month. So you're going to see it all. So hopefully you don't miss it. But just know that after that deadline of midnight on February 29th, it's done.
Yeah.
There will be no more brackets being entered. So if you forget, you're slacking off, you don't get it in, too bad.
Yep.
It's just going to be the way it is.
Yep. Did you mention Instagram? That's where most of this is going to be taking place?
So Instagram is where we hosted everything last year. All the voting and stuff, the revealing of the winners, all happened on Instagram last year, and it's going to be the same way. Again, we may be talking about it on YouTube or our podcast a little bit here and there. We'll see. Just depends on timing and when we're recording and stuff. But everything you need is going to be on Instagram, and not necessarily our personal ones. It's going to be on Bushwhackers Instagram. Yep. It's at Real Bushwhackers, so you can find everything, all the games and the results there. And obviously, you can still find the full bracket and everything on our website at realbushwhackers.com/parkmadness. Because that bracket will be there. You can go check your score there. Because in this little app is actually a leaderboard. You can find yourself, see where you stack up, and see how many points you've accumulated. And so it's a great little way to kind of, have a friendly competition with the people you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it was painful last year to see myself sinking in the leaderboard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to hit the next arrow a few times to get to my name.
Quite a few times. Yeah, it was pretty sad. But this year might be your year, BDOTES.
Yep.
I have a good feeling about you.
I'm not hopeful for you. We're competitors, so I don't want you.
I'm optimistic.
I think Wind Cave just might ride the breeze.
Ooh, going for Wind Cave.
Wow. Probably
That's
not.
a bold call.
That was the only one I could make a pun out of.
Did you miss the ride the breeze though?
I mean, I heard it.
Yeah.
You
just didn't want to acknowledge it.
Not to respond.
I mean, that's fair. I didn't want to either, but I feel like it needed to be.
Yeah.
It was more for the people, not you.
Well, I hope the people at home appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. I feel like that's everything.
I think so. Yeah.
I hate to miss something, but make sure you get your brackets in. We can't stress it enough. A lot of people did not get the chance to play last year because they did not hear about it in time. Again, that was partly our fault because we put it together in 2 days.
Yeah.
And so it was a very quick turnaround. But this year we're giving you guys 2 weeks. So if you can't get in within 2 weeks, that's on you.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I think the main takeaways from that is just make sure you're following us on Instagram and then get your bracket in.
Get your bracket, and again, make sure, this is also applies to when you're making your picks. You take into account how the games are decided. It is not just a straight vote this year. That was last year. We are better this year.
We've grown.
We've grown. And this year, that vote, it's still going to happen, but that vote is now going to become the odds for essentially a random number that's generated to determine who's winning. Mm-hmm. Okay. So again, just to recap that, let's say Great Basin and Kenai Fjords. Okay. If Kenai gets 45% of the vote and Great Basin gets 55, tight matchup, right? You guys couldn't really pick one or the other. Well, that's going to essentially be a coin flip. It's 55% likely that Great Basin's going to win, and Kenai is 45% likely. And whatever the computer decides based on those odds, that's how it goes down.
Yep.
It's going to be like that the whole way. It's going to be fun. And you guys are going to see, too, we're going to do games one day, and then we will reveal those games the next day. And then we'll continue that pattern as we go through the whole month.
Could you imagine if Glacier National Park, our winner from last year, loses in its first round?
That would be upsetting.
That would be wild.
But that is exactly why we made these changes.
Yeah.
Because that happens in March Madness.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, you see Kentucky, Duke, all these teams, they're the 1 seed. They're like, oh, the prohibitive favorites. And then they blow it.
Mm-hmm. And Furman University just controls the first 2 rounds.
Thank you for bringing that up, BDOTES. I really appreciate that. Furman University, shout out. You guys did amazing last year. My team really enjoyed watching you guys play. That one buzzer beater was incredible to watch live. I stopped what I was doing at work to watch that.
And who are their 5 starters again?
Well, it's not important, but I hope they have the same year this year. It's going to be a lot of fun to see, and just like some of these parks, I hope they have a great time too. So, let's get into these parks. Okay, so we have 63 parks in front of us. Round of 64, first round. Some good matchups here. And Obito, so you had one you want to talk about right away.
Yeah, the one that caught my eye was Capitol Reef and Badlands.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I don't know. Have you guys been to those parks? I mean, Capitol Reef, I know you've been to.
I've been to Capitol Reef a few times, but I haven't been to Badlands.
Okay, you haven't been to Badlands,
I haven't been
right?
to Badlands.
So I have been to Badlands, and I've been at Capitol Reef, obviously. Those are 2 solid parks.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, just so I can make sure I get this right. Capitol Reef is a 6 seed.
Yeah, 6.
And Badlands is an 11 seed. I think this is ripe for an upset.
This is one I'm thinking will probably go within 60-40, maybe even 50-50.
Yeah, I think it's ripe for an upset. And that's a lot of that has to do with, and we know this living in Utah, Capitol Reef is a very underrated park.
Oh, very, yeah.
Like, people don't really know much about it. And when I moved here, I didn't. Within a year of living here, I still didn't really know much.
I think of the big 5 in Utah, it's kind of the lesser known.
Absolutely. So, but it's really cool.
It's really neat, yeah.
But all these people who can be voting, they might not have ever been.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they might know the name Badlands. Maybe they've been there, have seen photos, and it's a great park.
Yeah.
And so I think that one, first round, is ripe for an upset. And I will be excited to see how that shakes down.
Yeah.
I might have to pick Badlands, honestly, for my bracket.
I mean, I would be being a traitor if I didn't pick Capitol Reef, but I could see Badlands.
This is not about being a traitor. This is about picking the best bracket.
I know, but I don't know.
Again, this is where the whole idea of the random number, the odds comes in now. It's not just straight vote. It's like, that is one that, like you said, it could be 60-40. Capitol Reef is still ahead of Badlands. But that 40% chance is not a small chance.
Yeah.
That's a really good chance.
Yeah.
And so it could easily go either way. So I'll be excited to see.
That coin flip is just going to be a wrecking ball to so many people.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be great.
I feel like a genius for thinking of it.
Yeah.
Now, I only hope that everyone at home listening to this feels the same way. And,
you are a genius.
And I don't piss people off.
You're a genius and a scholar.
Because this is a stupid idea. But, hey, if it was bad, we'll change it next year. Don't worry about it. Just might need some help thinking of ideas.
Yep.
But, I don't know. Let's see. What else we got? Chandler, you got a matchup you got your eye on.
I'm kind of curious to see how Sequoia and Joshua Tree play out. Because both of those are kind of like tree-based national parks, Sequoia is the big, huge trees. Joshua Tree
are weird-looking trees.
Are weird-looking cactus trees. So I'm kind of curious on that one.
I believe they're yuccas.
Yuccas?
Thanks for that, BDOTES.
Yeah. Is that what they're actually called?
Fact checker.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Yeah. That's a fun fact.
Yep.
So I'm kind of curious to see how that one plays out. I mean, I don't know. I've never been to either one, but I'm just more curious than anything on that one.
No, so. I agree. That's an interesting one because I think Joshua Tree is also a park that a lot of people like.
Yeah, a lot of people do. Yeah,
they like that one, and Sequoia is that way too. But with Joshua Tree being a 10 seed, it could draw a lot of votes and sway the odds in their favor.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is that they're like Sequoia is only a 7 seed, so they're kind of close.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it would be one that could easily get turned either way, and that's the fun of the games this year. So it'll be interesting to see how it all shakes out.
It will be exciting.
Okay, I'm going to go to a park that I think could be a little bit of a dark horse, a sneaky play for a champion, not just like a first round win. I'm talking about a champion.
A champion.
I'm going to throw Rocky Mountain out there.
Oh, that's interesting.
Up in the west region, the top left portion of the bracket, it is playing Shenandoah first round. I think that's an easy win. Again, with the odds, you never know. But I think it's an easy win. And looking at the path it has, I think it could very easily win that next round. Yellowstone Lake Clark, it could pull it out. And I think realistically, the only challenge it has until it gets to, I think, the Elite Eight, is going to be Glacier.
Yeah, I would agree with that, yeah.
But this is where the odds come back and play. I think, just like you said before, it could be a 60-40 thing with Glacier because a lot of people love Rocky Mountain. In Colorado, a lot of people in Colorado might play this, and it might get the votes just enough to give it the edge.
I feel like Rocky Mountain and Yellowstone will also be a close one.
It could be. It could be.
Like the original national park versus Rocky Mountain.
Yeah, but I think Rocky Mountain at a 5 seed could be a sneaky play that could win brackets for people. It might win brackets.
I do like that.
So that was one of the ones that I noticed.
I do think that that going against Shenandoah is a pretty easy win for that. I mean, like Shenandoah is one of those parks, and this is coming from somebody who like
with a Western bias.
Yeah, with the Western. Well, so like we're really well versed in our parks, and Shenandoah has never really been that memorable for me. So it's like I don't really know much about it, and I feel like that's how most people probably are.
Some of our East Coast friends can chime in, leave a comment on Shenandoah, and let us know. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you like it?
Yeah, I believe it's in Virginia.
That's where it is. Yeah,
that's about all I know about it, though.
I knew it was like northeastish, but I didn't know quite.
I don't think any of us picked it for our fun facts, so
no,
we won't be hearing about that one.
No.
Maybe in a future episode we'll throw something in there. Just give it some love.
Yeah.
But let's see. What else we got? Either you guys want to throw something out?
I think that Canyonlands and Voyagers will be kind of interesting.
Canyonlands and Voyagers.
So realistically, I think most people will probably pick Canyonlands.
I think so too. But, again, it's got the name factor.
Yeah, there's exactly name recognition and stuff. Yeah. But Voyagers is a really cool park. So I mean, if you watched our Sea Skip Close from last year.
Oh, you're gonna hear more about that later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later. But Voyagers is an incredible park. I also recently watched a National Geographic documentary on Voyagers National Park. So it's in my head.
Well, how about that? You got a little recency bias.
Yep.
It's not always good when you're picking a bracket.
No.
Okay, so I'm going to throw a couple parks out here. I think I got two. Yeah, I got 2 parks here that are high seeds that I think are on upset alert. And it may not happen first round, but I think there's a good chance they might lose second round. And they're both 2 seeds. I have Haleakala and Big Bend. I think both of those parks, again, I think they could probably get through the first week, but I think both those parks could fall in the second round. So if you're picking those parks, just be careful. Keep that in mind.
That is a good prediction. Yeah.
You know, just because they're a 2 seed doesn't mean they're gonna have an easy route.
Yeah.
Because I look at Haleakala and it might win Mammoth Cave first week, but that next game is gonna be against Gates of the Arctic, which has a little bit of lore to it. You know, people kind of like that, or it's either that or Black Canyon of the Gunnison, which is a very cool park as well.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it's a shoe-in for Haleakala. And I hate to say that because it's...
You love Haleakala.
I love that park. Yeah. It's an incredible park. And I think it's the same way for Big Bend as well. Yeah. I think it's a 2 seed, but I think despite that, it's one of these parks that maybe a lot of people don't know enough about, and it just may fall by the way of the coin, honestly. Nothing against it necessarily, but I think there's a chance they may not get enough votes to give it a great enough edge to put it through.
I agree with that. I have an idea for something that could be a potential upset, and I think that is, if you look over here in the east corner of the bracket, we have Zion National Park, and that goes up against Gateway Arch, and we're pretty sure
that's a shoe-in.
That's a shoe-in.
And I'll be honest, if Gateway Arch wins, I'm just going to manually overwrite it anyway. So
we're just going to delete
the
website, everything.
Just go ahead and vote for Zion.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking for 100%.
The first unanimous winner.
Yeah, exactly. But I think, this is just my prediction, but I can see Zion going 2 extra rounds and then going up against Tetons and then losing.
I will say, I haven't filled my bracket out, but when I'm looking at this, I'm putting Tetons through. And I'm putting them to win over Zion.
Yeah,
like
I think you should. And I love Zion. Zion's probably my favorite. I don't know. I have a lot of potential favorites, but Zion's one of those, and I would love to see it go through. But I think people like Grand Teton more than they do Zion.
No, I think that's a very good call, because I was going to bring up Tetons anyway, of a park that, again, at a 5 seed, I think could actually go really far.
Yeah.
But I was going to have it go over the 1 seed Zion. I think that could happen.
Yep.
I think you could see the odds get swayed in its favor.
Yeah.
So
and for that to happen, Grand Teton would have to be either. It would have to be Congaree, but then it also has to go against Canyonlands and Voyagers.
And I think that could be an easy win. Canyonlands is a little tougher, but I think Tetons would get it.
Tetons over one of those 2 parks. Yeah, I think that's easy. And then Zion doesn't really have any competition.
No, Zion has an easy path.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one. I do like that one. I'm glad you brought that up.
I think the bottom half of the East could be interesting. I think Bryce Canyon and Cascades will probably go head-to-head, but I think Cascades could pull that off against Bryce Canyon. I think
Cascades is a good dark horse candidate too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just for the reasons you said, I think it could easily sneak past Bryce Canyon there. And none of those names in that bottom half of the East bracket are ones that really stand out as bona fide favorites.
Yeah.
And I think at a 6 seed, North Cascades could really do some damage in the brackets. So that'd be fun. Again, see, this is the fun thing about Park Madness. We have no idea what's going to happen.
Yep.
And it's just all speculation, just like they do in March Madness. But that's what we're here for.
My prediction is Gateway Arch goes all the way, and then Yosemite goes and meets it in the championship.
Well, I already told you that I'm going to override Gateway Arch in the first round.
Gateway Arch wins.
So, no, there is no way that's happening. I don't know. I think another dark horse candidate could be Olympic National Park.
That's a good one.
Over on the bottom right in the Midwest bracket. Mm-hmm. Again, just like we've talked about, I think that one also stands a good chance, even though it's a 5 seed.
There's some good ones in that Midwest bracket.
Yeah. I mean, despite the Midwest being a terrible place, has nothing to do with the actual bracket. But
you have Kenny Forks,
yeah, you got
Smoky Mountains,
you
Olympic.
Got some good parks. I think Smokies will give Olympic a run.
Yeah,
because Smokies are popular.
A lot of people like.
They're popular. So
Smoky Mountains are the most popular national park in the country.
Yeah, but I think if they get past that Olympic, I think it's got a route that it could get through.
Yeah,
because let's be real here, Arches is number 1 seed in that side of the bracket. That's ridiculous. I mean,
you are so anti-Arches. It's hilarious.
I am. I mean, I think I closed that part down in an old episode of Seaskip Close.
Yep, you did.
But, I mean, the fact that's a 1 seed is just insane to me.
Yeah.
There's no way it deserves to be that high. Maybe an 8 seed at best. At best.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I will say that is easily the weakest 1 seed to me.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
The weakest
Looking at all the other 1 seeds, that's the
I'm not saying it's going to lose first round because it's playing Wind Cave, so let's be real here.
Well, let's look at the other 1 seeds. So we have Glacier, Denali, Zion, and then Arches.
Yeah,
I'm surprised Yosemite's not the 1 seed, honestly.
Yeah.
It didn't make it to the Final Four last year.
Yeah.
Which I forgot about that.
Because these 4 teams, Glacier, Zion, Arches, and Denali, were the Final Four.
I forgot about that.
I think Glacier beat Yosemite in the Elite 8.
That's right. I do remember that.
Yeah, because they're on the same side of the bracket.
But for some reason, I thought it was Glacier and Yosemite.
It was not Final Four, so that's why it's a 2 seed.
Well, it's a new year.
It is, and it could be Yosemite's year.
Yep.
If you like Yosemite at home, you can give it some votes. If you got multiple accounts on your Instagram that you run, like I know I have 3, you have a couple.
A few.
You can influence the votes a little bit. Mm-hmm. Depends on how many people we actually get voting, how much your vote will count. But you can maybe sway it. a little bit more in one direction if you so choose. If you want to make some burner accounts, by all means, go do that.
Do it.
We'll take the engagement.
Let's push Indiana Dunes all the way to the top.
Indiana Dunes versus Gateway Arch.
What a matchup that would
actually be. That would be
We're talking
wild.
about last place game, right?
Yeah, that's consolation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that's, unless there's any other parks you guys want to chat about here, I think that's a pretty good overview of what we see in the bracket.
I think we should get into why Gateway Arch should not be a national park.
Okay, I know you're jumpy to get there, but we're going to save that for the very end. Chandler's got a whole paragraph we're going to talk about.
That's true.
So we got a few paragraphs.
But yeah,
Saving the best for last.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's Park Madness. And again, we are so excited that this is back. It's this time of year again. We've been thinking about this since the end of last year's games.
Yeah.
So we are beyond excited to finally be hosting this again. So again, you can find any information you need on our website. You can ask us. We want to make sure you guys have the best opportunity to play and have fun with this. And if you have any suggestions for future episodes that we can do with the podcast or future improvements for the games themselves, we'd love to hear it because this is a huge deal for us. I mean, we've been talking about this for months, and we want to make sure we do it right. Yeah. So however we can do that, let us know. So we're going to move into the last portion of our episode here where we have some fun facts about national parks. We thought it'd be a little fun to, pick some parks that maybe some people don't know about and just share a little unique factoid about all of them. And I know me and BDOTES have 4 parks each. You have 3, I think, right?
Yes.
So I will start. And we mentioned this one in our little bracket overview very briefly, and that is Sequoia National Park. Now, I will say I was very close to this park back in New Year's. I was debating going, but it was just a little bit too much of a drive. But Sequoia, like you said, is known for its big trees, very big trees. You might have seen some photos of some of the trees they have in the park, and with people like wrapping their arms around them, like linked together. And it's like 30 people to get around the entire tree.
Yeah.
I mean, these trees are insanely big. And so it'd be cool to see. That's why I want to go. But the fun fact that I have for you guys revolves around the size of the trees. And that is that the General Sherman tree, the most famous one they have there, if you see pictures of the park, you've probably seen a photo of this one. It is the world's largest tree by volume. So that doesn't mean the tallest one, but basically just the size, the girth of this tree. It is massive. It is, now, this may not be the tallest tree in the world, but it's still 275 feet tall. That's pretty big.
That's pretty big.
And it's kind of big.
Yeah.
But it's 275 feet tall, and at its base, the diameter of the tree is 36 feet.
36 feet. Jeez.
It's a lot of paper.
It's a massive tree.
Think about how many notebooks we can make with that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. But it's a massive tree. And that's, again, 36 feet is no small number.
No.
I mean, was that 10 yards or so?
That is monstrous is what it is.
I mean, I can't imagine what that would actually look like in real life.
No, I want to see it.
But yeah, it's just a cool little thing. And they got a ton of trees like that. This is just the biggest one because they have a whole forest full of these sequoia trees. But Sherman is just the biggest one. I know it was kind of threatened by fire too. Last year, year before, I forget what it was.
The year before, 2 years ago.
It was threatened by wildfire, and that was kind of scary.
Yeah.
But they saved it.
Good job.
Great job, National Park Service.
Yes.
But yeah, that's my first fun fact for you guys is Sequoia, largest tree in the world by volume.
I like that. That's a good fact.
It's also very old. I didn't write the number down, but it's also very old as well. It has to be if it's going to be that big.
Yeah.
So, okay, BDOTES, what you got for us?
Well, I will go along the height route. We'll go down to Arizona to Saguaro National Park.
Oh.
They had the record for the tallest cacti. It was 78 feet tall.
78 foot cactus?
For a cactus.
Wow.
Goodness.
Yeah. But it fell over in 1986. So it is no longer.
Wow.
Gosh, dang it.
I know.
like I was so ready to be like, wow, that's amazing. I need to go see this.
We need to go
thing.
right now. Yeah.
And then you just crushed my dreams.
I know.
Well, what's the current tallest? Is it that?
So they said currently they do not have they have not singled one out that is the tallest cacti.
Well, get on it. What are we waiting for?
I know.
It's been 30 years.
It has.
Yeah, seriously. Like
40.
what have we been
30.
doing? What have we been doing in that time?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We just praise the National Park Service. National Park Service, get on it.
Yeah. Come on,
Man.
guys.
Yeah.
Get it together.
But that's 77 feet, though.
That's
for a cactus.
wild.
That's
For a
high.
cactus. For a tree, sure, whatever. But a cactus?
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost half the height of General Sherman. I wonder how thick it is. Or like how many spokes and stuff it has,
Yeah.
you know?
How many
can't even,
spines?
like, imagine
Spines,
that.
arms, what do you call it?
Yeah.
I feel like
Probably
it just look
arms.
like cartoonish. Something like a cactus that
Yeah.
big.
Yeah.
And is it like prickly? Like if you run into it, you're going to hurt yourself?
You probably would. I think those ones are pokey. But
Interesting.
yeah, 78-foot tall cactus.
That's really cool.
Yep.
I'd like to see a picture of that now.
Yeah.
Just like it's
I
with
didn't
someone
even
next
think
to it
to
for
look it up.
sale or something.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
they have one of those.
If
That'd
they,
be
had,
really
if they
cool.
had photos in the 80s.
Saguaro. And that's in Arizona.
It's in Arizona.
I didn't mention it, but Sequoia is in California, in the Eastern Sierras. But saguaro is in Arizona, I believe, down by.
It's way down there.
Yeah, it's down
Yeah.
down south. There was a chance I was going to go there for New Year's last year, but we chose Vegas instead. I can't remember the name of the town. Tucson, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Down near Tucson. But that's a fun fact for you. I like that.
Yep.
I like that a lot. Chandler, because you only have 3, we'll skip you and come back.
I like
we want
it.
to end with your big one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go to Everglades. This is a park down in Florida. We have some friends down in Florida. This is a park I'd like to go see. I know my mom's been there. She said it was pretty cool. But the fun fact that I have for you, which I thought was pretty neat, it is the only place in the world where both crocodiles and alligators coexist.
Really?
I think I knew that.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Now, to be fair, I actually didn't even know they had crocodiles. I thought it was all alligators.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
I thought it was only alligators, but they do have a small population. I think I read around 2,000 or so crocodiles that do live in the Everglades.
Whoa.
Which is really neat. And again, it's the only place in the world where both of those, crocodiles and alligators, coexist.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. I mean, I was never thinking about that fact to begin with, but I thought that was pretty neat.
That is a fun fact.
It is fun.
Yeah.
And to add to the fun, just a little bonus factoid about the Everglades. You can also find manatees there, which would be kind of weird to see. Because
Yeah.
they're kind of weird looking creatures.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can also find the elusive Florida panther in the Everglades.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that one.
So not only do we have mountain lions, but they do too in Florida. Who
Yeah.
would have guessed?
Who would have thunk?
Now, they have a lot of different things because invasive species and stuff.
Yeah.
And because it's Florida.
Florida's kind of one of those places where, everybody says everything there wants to kill you. It's kind of
Yeah,
one of
it's-
those places.
It's just kind of a weird place. I
Yeah.
mean, Wyatt Schaefer, his mom has a pet pig and a pet skunk,
yeah.
It's just...
Wait, why did I just was like, yeah, oh, that's normal.
Have you guys ever Google searched Florida man and your birthday
No.
and see what articles pop up?
Oh no, I have. I don't remember what I had, but I have done that.
Mine was like they ended a standoff with some guy by offering him pizza.
Well, how about that?
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably give up for that too.
I
Yeah,
would
it was
too,
like
yeah.
a 7-hour standoff.
If it's good
You
pizza.
give me a good slice of pepperoni,
Yeah.
I'd do
Yeah.
it. Some deep dish.
Yeah.
So what if they offered you New York style?
Yeah.
And then you wouldn't?
Be a tough call.
Yeah.
Tough call. But yeah, that's what I got. Everglades. Alligators and crocodiles. Only place in the world they coexist.
You guys have seen that guy on the internet who goes out into the Everglades and like picks up crocodiles and stuff with his hands?
Wild.
Yeah.
Again, Florida.
Yeah, Florida, yeah.
Florida.
Dude has a death wish. I love watching everything he makes.
Yeah, I wouldn't go do that in the daytime, but he's doing it at night.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, so one of the reasons I would like to go is I do think it'd be pretty cool to go kayak through the Everglades among the gators and crocodiles.
That would be cool.
That'd be a cool story.
It would be a really cool story.
Like, it'd be a little terrifying, but it'd be a cool story.
Yeah. The snake comes up at you.
I'd feel worse about a snake than a crocodile, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I hate snakes.
Yeah. Maybe it's just because I grew up
Can't do it.
around snakes, so like I'm
Can't
not.
do it. Can't do it. I mean, when I was in Arkansas with Matt Johnsgard, we had like a little cottonmouth, this big, chasing us in the water, and I was terrified. So I could imagine like a big, whatever they have out there.
Yeah.
One of the
anaconda,
invasive
whatever
pythons.
Yeah, I mean, that'd just be terrifying.
Yeah.
Now, I think those are pretty slow, so I got to run it, I guess.
Yeah. I'm not sure if they'll swim.
I hope not.
Yeah.
That'd be terrifying.
That would be freaky.
Okay, BDOTES, what you got next?
So, a lot of people, when you think dark skies, you think Utah, right?
Yes.
But Big Bend in Texas is the darkest sky
Really?
of the lower 48.
Really?
Oh.
Yep.
That's interesting because, I mean, it's probably not by a huge degree different than what we have
Right.
here, just because we also have the very dark skies.
Yep.
So I was going to say, like, I wonder what it'd be like to see the Milky Way and stuff out there, but it's probably pretty similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard Big Bend is really cool.
I've heard the same thing,
yeah.
you know, and it's just one of those things that's a little far away
Yeah.
to go visit, and I'd like to go see it, but it's just hard to put it in the plans, I think, because I want to spend multiple days too.
Right.
But it's just hard. But darkest skies is cool.
Yeah.
I feel like you don't see a ton of astrophotography coming out of there.
I think it's just kind of remote. It's way out there.
Interesting.
I think Big Bend is also close to the Mexico border.
Scary.
Yeah.
It is scary.
Scary. Well, because the Rio Grande is what goes through it, isn't it? Or no?
I feel like that's right, but I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I could be making that up.
Yeah,
Yep.
maybe.
Who knows? Maybe someone at home will fact check us. Leave a comment. Fact check us.
Yep.
Me specifically, not these guys, because
Yeah.
I made the claim. But that's cool. I mean, we have some great skies here and great places to go to see the skies too.
Yep.
You know, Utah has the largest, mass of gray sky of dark sky area in the country. So, but not the
Oh.
darkest.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, but we have
It's
the
real
most
trippy.
dark sky.
It's like 1 a.m. You just look up and just see stars. It's an
amazing.
experience.
It is really cool. Like
Yeah.
if you haven't done that before, you got to do it.
Have you ever? We've talked about this on the podcast before, but have you ever slept under a full moon down in southern Utah?
Oh, it's amazing.
I've not
Just
done that.
out, not in a tent, anything.
Nope.
You need to.
Even just
It's
walking
amazing.
around, it's like daylight.
it's like the sun is out. Yeah.
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 It's crazy.
It's a cool thing.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Okay. Fun fact: the dark skies. I like it. Chandler, what you got for us?
Okay, so just to keep this tree themed, I have the redwoods.
Hey.
So the redwoods, it's kind of a weird park. It's made up of a bunch of state parks. There are 3 state parks and 1 main national parks. The 3 state parks were set up in the early 1900s, 1923, 1925, and 1929. And then there was Redwood State or National Park that was set up in the 60s. And then in 1994, all of those came together to form one big Redwoods National Park. And it's still kind of sectioned off, you know, into different state parks and stuff, but it's all under Redwoods National Park. So that's kind of one fun fact. And then the tallest tree in the world exists in Redwood National Park.
The tallest, you say? How
Yeah.
about America with the trees?
Yeah, right? And this tree has a name. It's called Hyperion.
That is a name.
Right. Yeah.
BDOTES, why didn't you name your kid Hyperion?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, he would have
Didn't
been
cross my mind.
He would have been a baller.
Yeah. So, and another fun fact about this tree. So, the location of this tree, it's the tallest tree in the entire planet. The location for this tree is hidden.
Oh,
And
I think I've heard this.
I think we talked about it at some point, but it is illegal to go find this tree. And they keep it like off the books and everything, and you are not allowed to go find the tree.
That's cool.
Yeah, I can't remember why, but
We should go find it.
yeah. It's like really hard to go. It's like way deep in the redwoods
Well,
and
and like
stuff. but
realistically, like, I mean, unless there's a plaque there.
you're not going to know. Yeah. And that's the
No.
thing. Like, so the height of the tree is 380 feet.
Jeez.
But the thing is, like, it's the tallest tree, but all the other trees around it are like 350 feet, 340 feet.
Right. That's
you
what I
know?
mean. Like, you're not going to be able to like tell.
Yeah.
You know.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
That's cool. I mean, I'd like, just like with sequoias too, I like to see like those trees like compared to buildings in downtown areas.
It would be cool to see them
Just
next
to
to each other.
see how big
Yeah,
they are.
yeah. I thought, because you and I have both been there, and I remember thinking the same thing. Like, I wonder how this compares to like a man-made structure.
Yeah.
You know, like put this in the middle of downtown Salt Lake. What does this look like?
Yeah, and those redwoods are not as thick as the sequoias.
No.
Which is even kind of more impressive for how tall they are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it makes sense if you're gonna be that big. Maybe you're a little thicker like the sequoias, but those redwoods, man, they just.
I wonder how many feet they sway in a windstorm.
Like
at the top.
If we truly had a good fun fact section and Chandler was good at this, he would have had that.
Yeah.
That is...
Like, do you think they go probably 10 feet in either direction if it's real windy?
I mean, they could.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
It'd be cool being like up that high.
Yeah.
In those trees when that's happening.
I don't think that would be fun.
They've been standing for that long. I feel like
true.
they can take it.
Yeah, redwoods live up to like 300, 500 years or something like that. So on average.
Yep.
So, but I also read that they found one that's like 1,000 years or something. So
Yeah.
they're old.
That's
Very,
cool.
very old.
That is cool.
They also...
How many fun facts you got, bro?
Dude, I have a ton.
He's got notes over here.
One fact per park. It's 7.
Well, I want to educate the people.
Yeah, he's got a whole essay here. It's an APA formatting.
Yeah.
I mean,
I quote it. Yeah, I have my citations.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Yeah. No, but did you know in the 1800s, 96% of all of the redwood trees in California were wiped out to logging.
Wow.
And the national park only protects half of what is left.
I thought you were going to say, like, it grew back, but that's not what you said.
No, that's not what I said.
I was going to say, it's impressive they've grown back. But
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it has grown back, but...
Sure, yeah.
I thought you were going to say they never saw it coming.
BDOTES.
It's too easy.
BDOTES.
It's so natural.
I mean, it's a great segue to move on, I guess. That's good.
Don't worry.
Unless you have 3 more for redwoods. We don't want to...
But my next park, I only have 1 fact.
Oh,
so it's
thank
tamed
God.
down. It's tamed.
Okay, next one I'm going to throw out here is Voyagers. And I picked this one for a very particular reason.
I don't like your reason.
Because when we first introduced Sea Skip Close to the podcast,
Which we need to play again, by the way.
we will during this Park Madness phase. But when we first introduced this, I set up a Sea Skip Close with, I think it was the Smokies, Acadia, and Voyagers. Mm-hmm. And I think you chose the Smokies to go see, maybe, or is Acadia? It's one of those two.
I picked Acadia.
Yeah, I think you closed Voyagers.
Yeah.
And I chose to go see Voyagers. And if you don't know what I'm talking about with this episode, maybe we'll try to link it, on this show here.
Yeah.
We've never done that on episodes. That'd be kind of fun.
Not on a podcast.
Yeah. But
I do it.
oh, I don't.
Not on the podcast.
But maybe we'll link that episode so you can see it, because it was a great reaction at the end. But I blew Chandler's mind because he did not know that you can see the northern lights in Voyager.
I had no idea.
And so I decided I was going to go see that one, and he just fell apart.
Yeah.
He got up, stormed off camera for a bit, came back. So please go watch that episode. It's quite old, but we'll link it here. But that is not my fun fact, that you can see northern lights there, because, again, that's known now. You know that.
I do know that, I've learned.
Learned the hard way.
I've been educated.
But I thought it'd be interesting to figure out the origins of the name of the park.
Oh.
Because I've always thought it's kind of spelled weird. Like, it's not like a normal, how I would spell Voyager, right?
Yeah.
And so I figured that maybe it'd be fun to figure out how it was named. And the name comes from French-Canadian fur traders, who were some of the first first Europeans to regularly come through that area for trading purposes. And they were called voyageurs, spelled the way it is. And that's where the name came from.
Interesting.
Because it was a trading route those people used a lot. And I thought that was pretty neat, Again, it's always seen that word, and I'm like, I almost can't spell it because it's just not kind of natural.
Yeah, I always forget how it's actually spelled.
But it makes sense because it's like a French-Canadian thing. And so it's not necessarily I would say, a pure English word, or a spelling of it at least.
It's another one I want to go to because I think it's primarily canoeing that you do
a lot
there.
of canoeing, on-water stuff.
Which I think canoe camping would be fun.
Yeah.
Load everything in a canoe
Besides
and just go.
the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we get the northern lights.
Yep.
Right, Chandler?
Right. Yes,
so
you do.
That's important to know.
Yep.
Okay, cool. That's Voyagers. BDOTES, last one?
Yep.
Or no, we got 2 more.
Two
Sorry,
more.
Two
more. Olympic National Park.
Ooh, that's a nice park.
So bears have never killed anybody there. But in 2010...
I was like, that's a fun fact.
But in 2010, a mountain goat, which are not native to Olympic National Park, killed a man.
Well, how about that?
Interesting.
So watch your back.
Mountain goats
Watch
are
for
the real
mountains.
killers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was
No
a mountain
bear.
goat recently that killed a dog up on Timpanogos.
Yeah.
This last summer.
Yeah.
Which I feel like
that.
I see so many videos of them walking past people like 3 feet away. I'm like,
yeah.
are you not afraid?
I think the
And-
dogs just freak them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've always said mountain goats are like weird creatures.
They are.
Because they're just a pure white.
Yeah.
They got like a shaggy coat, depending on the time of year. But but their eyes are just like solid black.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just look at it and you have no idea like what they're thinking, what they're looking at, and it's like,
is there anything going on in there?
right?
Like, they look like they'll drop like some wisdom on you. Or
Yeah,
something.
they do.
Yeah,
But
like the big
apparently
old
they're
beard.
killers though, so you
Yeah.
gotta watch out.
The baby ones are cute.
They are really cute.
I need to get up to Temp this summer and see them.
Same.
haven't
You
done
know
that
what?
yet.
I've hiked up there several times, and I've never seen a freaking mountain goat, and it's about time I actually see one. So let's go find them.
Well, that's
Got
sad
that.
for you
I know it is.
because I've done it once and I've seen them. So,
Well, gosh, good for you.
but that's interesting. Mountain goats are the real killers out west.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, they only got black bears, right? So those aren't nearly as dangerous as grizzlies,
Right.
which that part would make sense. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I guess I don't know how many people black bears in general would kill or even attack.
I don't think it's very many.
No.
But mountain goats.
Mountain goats are definitely not very many.
I was not into. I thought you were gonna say like mountain lion, especially when you said mountain. I was
Yeah,
like, oh,
that's
mountain
what I
lion
thought,
for
yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
obviously.
No, mountain goat.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yep. This is fun facts.
that is fun.
Yeah.
I had fun learning that.
That is
yeah.
very fun. Okay, Chandler, you got a park. You got one fact this
Yeah,
time.
I got one fact. So this is Zion National Park. This is a park that we all know and love.
a great park.
Great park. But Zion National Park is home to one of the largest arches in the planet. And this Kolob arch, which spans 287 feet.
Yeah.
So I don't quite know exactly where I've never seen it. I didn't really know this was here in the park. It's kind of tucked back. And,
Yeah.
You know,
Is that like the northern entrance? And I think it's like a healthy hike to get.
I think that's right.
It is,
Yeah.
yeah. It's tucked way back in there. But yeah, one of the biggest arches on the planet.
Wow.
So
Just goes to show this is why Arches National Park is stupid.
Yeah.
Because they don't even have the best arch.
Like
Yeah.
they have delicate arch, and that's about it.
Yeah, and once that goes, game over.
yeah,
That park
it's
is gone.
delicate. So
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. But they don't have the biggest arch.
yeah,
That's cool though.
Yeah.
275?
87.
87 feet.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, 287 feet.
That's as tall as the
It's
sequoias.
the sequoia, yeah.
That's
Wide
wild.
though. Yeah.
Lay a sequoia down on its side.
It's like 2.5 cacti and saguaro.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at us
Yeah.
using references like that.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, my last park, and I have Katmai National Park, the park that's known for the bears
That
up
is
in
a
Alaska.
fun park for a fun fact.
Yeah, and this one's definitely going to blow your mind because this park is known for its bears. Right, it's got the river the bears go to. You see like 30 grizzlies all in one spot,
And they're monster
And
fat.
Yeah, and they don't even care about the humans that are there.
Yeah.
And so I thought when I saw this, I was like, well, this is actually really interesting because again, when I think of Katmai, I think of bears, I think of wildlife, right? Well, Katmai is also one of the world's most active volcanic areas.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And apparently there's at least 14 active volcanoes within its boundaries.
What?
Right?
What? I didn't know that.
I saved the best for last. Like, I think of bears. I don't think of volcanoes.
Yeah.
When I think of Katmai.
So I remember I've been to Katmai, and you fly over one from Homer, and it's a pretty big one. But like that's the only one that I saw.
And
Flying
the
anywhere,
park must be
but-
huge. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
14 active volcanoes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That's wild, yeah.
I
I
mean,
can't even think of another park other than Hawaii volcanoes that has an active volcano.
Lassen volcanic.
Yeah, last
But-
volcanic, yeah.
But yeah, I mean 14. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know, and again, little bonus facts here. It also has 9,257 lakes
Wow.
in the entire park, which is a large number, and almost 6,000 miles of rivers and streams. No wonder the bears like it.
6,000 miles?
Yeah.
Wow. That's like a lot of General Sherman trees.
That's a lot of sequoias.
Yeah, it's a lot of
Yeah.
sequoias.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the volcano thing blew my mind.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Would not have ever guessed that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny because I remember we did an episode of Seaskip Close last year that had to do with some of those Alaska parks, and we were just...
And it's like
Katmai
now
was the
my
bear
mind
one.
has changed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
gotta revisit that.
Yeah, we got to do that again, yeah. A redo of that episode.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah, we had a bear walk by like 15 feet from us. We had to get off the trail. It was
Scary.
yeah, but
Scary.
he didn't care. He just kept going.
It's good. Okay. I'm done with my fun facts. BDOTES, you got one last one?
Yeah. So I haven't told you guys what this one
Oh,
is.
right.
Oh, yeah.
So before we start, we actually didn't know what facts we were going to choose, and we knew the parks, but we had no idea. So all these facts were new to us. which is fun. But you kept this park hidden from us.
Yeah, this one has a cool situation on it.
Okay.
So in 1912, moose got out to this area by crossing over the ice and ended up clearing out a lot of the plant life there. So it wiped out all of the native deer, coyotes, caribou, all of that for about 30 years or so. And then in 1948, a couple wolves crossed over the ice, started balancing out the population, and ever since then, it's been the longest predator-prey study. Any guesses?
Oh, and the ice.
I do have a guess, and I feel really good about my guess. But I'm going to give Chandler first try if he wants it.
I feel like it's an East Coast park, like a Northeast Coast park, but I don't know.
I have a backup guess now.
I don't know which one to think.
This is a good fact, though.
Yeah, this is.
And I like the fact that you made this little game for us.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what to guess.
Okay, so my first guess is Isle Royale.
It's Isle Royale?
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's up in like northern Michigan.
Yep. It's like almost
What's up there?
And I'm a Midwest native, so of course I knew.
I knew there was one up in that area. I couldn't think about what it was.
But I've heard and I've seen a big part of the park is like the antler sheds.
Yep.
By the moose up there. So that was the first tip off for me. But I figured there was wolves up there as well because it's far enough north.
Yeah.
And same with the caribou too. Because I was thinking caribou, I'm like, where would there be caribou?
My first thought was Alaska.
Yeah, like there would not be many there. But I was like, there's no way up in Alaska that I feel like the moose would have taken out because there'd just be too many animals or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
But like Isle Royale is a very small area, so I was like, that's got to be what it is.
And it's crazy because the only way to get there is like a 6-hour boat ride,
right?
Couple-hour plane ride.
It's remote.
Yeah.
So when one species of animal gets over there and messes with everything, it changes it for a while.
Changes it.
Animals don't get over there.
Like it's closer to Canada land than it is
Canada
land in the U.S.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
That was a fun fact.
That is a really fun fact.
And I appreciate the game. That made it more fun.
Yeah.
I could have done that with my volcano.
No, you
guys never would have thought that.
No. I would have thought like Death Valley or something. Yeah.
Arches.
When I was saying Katmai, you'd be like, what?
Yeah.
Dang it. I missed an opportunity there. Okay, Chandler, you have one last one, and this is going to be...
the funnest of all facts.
Yeah, this is going to be a long one.
Yeah.
Let's see if we can speed this up a little bit.
Yeah, we'll speed this up a little bit because we're running lengthy here. So... this last one, it is the
worst park.
The world's worst national park, but could be one of the country's best national monuments if it was categorized right. But it's not, so it's the world's worst national park. And this is Gateway Arch. Gateway Arch, why is it a national park? Nobody knows.
It's stupid.
Nobody knows. Not even the National Park Service knows why it's a national park.
It's a couple city blocks.
Yeah. It's I read the square footage. It's like 90 square acres or something like that. Like it's really, really small. And like I said, not even the National Park Service knows why it is a national park. So the Gateway Arch was created in the 60s, completed construction in 1965, and then it was always a national monument. But then Congress, for some reason, changed it in 2018 to be a park. Well, I mean, there is kind of a reason they changed the name. It used to be the Jefferson National Expansion Memorial. And then in 2018, they're like, we're going to change the name. And then when they changed the name, they also changed it into a national park status. And I don't have it written down because it's a very, very long essay, I guess, that the National Park Service, or I guess letter that the Park Service wrote to Congress.
Yeah, you showed us. It was long.
It's long, yeah. And they broke down this whole thing about why Congress should not have made this a national park. And
because it's man-made. Yeah,
I mean, it's man. So their main quote in there was like, it doesn't align with their standards for units of national park system. So like it doesn't match any of the criteria that they have that makes a national park a national park, which goes into like, does it have resources that it protects? Does it embody, a large body of land or water? Does it protect resources? Like you think of like Zion or something like that.
Right.
It has all of these natural resources in it. It's a natural area for animals and stuff. Gateway Arch has nothing like that.
It's in the city.
It's in the middle of Missouri. So, don't know why it's a national park. it's the dumbest national park, but it's a national park nonetheless.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
Like with this logic, Golden Gate Bridge might become the next one.
Yeah, well, that's actually so.
That'd be a better one because you at least have the ocean right there.
Yeah. And like Golden Gate Bridge, actually, I mean,
it has an environment around it.
Yeah, well, it's like, what is it, like Golden Gate State Park or something like that?
Yeah.
Because it has the bridge and then it has all the hills that are.
Yeah, state park makes sense.
Yeah.
Know? But like again, if you maybe give a state park to the arch, sure, whatever. But it's not a national park.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So they actually broke down in this letter like why it should be a national monument and not a national park. And
because it's just a monument.
Yeah, it's
that
just
we made.
It's a big monument. Yeah. So they have this list of criteria along with like, is it commemorative of something? And it is. It's commemorative of the
expansion out west.
Expansion out west. Yeah.
It's almost like it's too obvious.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And then this one's kind of my favorite. It's the criteria for it to be a national monument. Is it smaller than a national park?
Yes.
Yes, it is. And Congress, I guess, looked at that and was like, it's fine.
I mean, if three guys sitting around a desk can literally just like look at the criteria and be like, nope, 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 nope.
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Does it lack a diversity of attractions? Yes, it has one.
Which I will say, I've been up in it. It's pretty neat.
It's cool. Yeah.
It's a cool little feat of engineering because the elevators have to go.
Yeah.
But I'm sure you're dying to go back.
Absolutely, I am.
Yeah. So, with that said, you just kind of transitioned me into. I will give some fun facts on.
It's a feat of engineering.
It's a great feat of engineering. We'll give some great architectural facts on it. So, like I said, completed in 1965, commemorates the Louisiana Purchase and Western expansion. It is also the tallest structure in Missouri, and it is exactly 330 feet tall and exactly 330 feet wide. And the two legs of the building were built separately, and if they were off by even 1/64th of an inch, they wouldn't have met at the top. So you
just moved over 1/64th of an inch and it'd meet.
Yeah.
Problem solved.
Okay.
I'm a former engineer, so that's why I understand these problems.
But so, I mean, despite it being a really weird pick for a national park, it's a really cool feat.
No, it is.
Of architectural
if
engineering.
If it was a national monument, I'd have no qualms with it.
Nope.
Yeah.
It would make sense.
Yeah. It's one of the coolest things in the country.
Yeah.
Don't know why it's a national park,
And I would never talk about it still. But being a national park, it deserves all of the hate that it gets.
Yeah. So.
That being said, again, if it wins the first round against Zion in the bracket, I'm manually overwriting that. Because, sorry, guys. It's just not going to happen.
Deleting everything.
Yeah,
blowing up the website.
I'm game master. So.
Yeah.
I can probably list like 5 places that could be national parks over Gateway.
Oh, easily.
Yeah,
easily. But I have one last fact that I think is kind of weird, and I think it's just kind of funny. But the U.S. presidents are not allowed in Gateway Arch.
What?
And only one U.S. president has ever been in Gateway Arch, and that was Dwight Eisenhower when it was just completed, but before it opened.
Why can't they go in?
I don't know. I was trying to find answers. All it said was...
so does that mean I can't be president?
Yeah, that's what it means.
Gosh.
No, so Secret Service won't let presidents go in there. I don't know why.
I wonder if it's a safety risk.
That's what... I don't know.
Yeah. That makes me feel good by going in there.
Because if somebody just kicked it 1/64th of an inch...
That's all it would take.
Collapse, yeah.
That's a good point, BDOTES.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that was interesting, that presidents are not allowed to go in there.
That is weird.
Not by any, like, constitutional thing or like that, but because Secret Service doesn't allow that.
So what do they know that we don't?
I don't know.
Conspiracy.
It's a gateway to what?
Mm.
That is the real question here.
Yeah, the Illuminati.
Yeah. Well, I have a gateway to something else, and that is our table item for today.
Ah.
Yeah. We're going to finish up the episode here. Again, at the end of every episode, if you follow along, we add a new item to our table in the back. A lot of fun little trinkets. Just fun things, memories from the episodes.
My favorite's the Mesa Arch.
Yeah, well, that one, there's a better spot for that, and that's in the shredder. But we'll, Taylor, I love you, man, but I'm sorry. I have to stand on principle on that one. But yeah, we're going to add a new table item today. And this one actually is from someone else, which is fun because we haven't had a ton of those. And this is from our friend Jackson Abhow. Mm-hmm. He gave us this item, which is not from a national park, but I'm going to try my best to tie it to one in a way. It's from his time when he lived in Arizona. And it is a little cactus.
Look at that guy.
It's a cute little cactus. Now, he admitted that this thing does not look all that great, and that's because it is in fact dead. And he told me about this when I was in Death Valley, which is my tie to a national park, because it looks like death. And so I think it was fitting for the start of our Park Madness stuff. But I will admit that it looked bad when he gave it to me, and actually looks worse now. And that's because when I put it in my car originally, I put it on a little console.
Mm-hmm.
And then when breakfast came out, and when I got back in the car, I just elbowed this thing right into my seat.
Oh,
and
geez.
all the dirt spilled everywhere. The cactus fell out. I think it actually bent it. You can kind of see, like, it looks like it's bent.
Yeah.
So I definitely contributed to the death look. But, yeah, cool little item. Appreciate you, Jackson.
That's neat, yeah.
Yeah, makes for a fun addition.
I like it.
So
He only needs like 77 more feet to be the tallest one.
we'll work on
It's
it.
getting
Yeah.
there, yeah.
We'll work on
But
it.
we got to bring it back to life
I think
first.
his best days were behind him, though.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so fun little cactus. I like that. And it's dead. Doesn't need water, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Thanks, Jackson.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
Thank you, Jackson.
Appreciate you, dude. But that's all we got for today. Again, Park Madness is in full swing now. If you're listening, the bracket entries, you can start submitting those. So go to our website, realbushwhackers.com/parkmadness. You can see all the rules, and the information you need there is on that page. But you can also make and submit your bracket on that page there. Again, if you have any questions, look through that webpage, contact us, contact Bushwhackers on social media, whatever you need to do. We are happy to help and assist, but we want you to make sure you guys can play and have fun with us this year, because it's going to be a blast.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be so fun. So,
I'm very excited.
yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun these next 2 months as we kind of roll through these national park stuff. So can't wait.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, that's all we got for today, guys. We'll see you later.
See you later.